Man, it's just something about that doggone intro, brother. I don't know if it's me, it's just something about that intro. It's just like it's got me hyped over here. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's what it's supposed to do, man. It's supposed
every
to
time I hear, I be like,
going.
yeah. I don't even know who put that together. I don't even know who put that together for us. I don't even know.
My VA put that together, man. She put that. I said, hey, put this together. She said, all right, got it.
Well, she did. She did a good job. So if anybody else that need a VA who can do some stuff like that, let us know. We get paid on that real quick. I'm always trying to figure out how we can get a check through here. You understand? I'm trying to figure out how we get a check through here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
Welcome to another episode, another week, another episode of Real Talk and Real Estate.
Absolutely.
I'm one of the hosts, Chris Allen.
I'm Maurice Murphy.
There he is. They call him the bearded one.
Bearded realtor, bearded one. I'm the realtor with the beard. With
the beard. Like I said, I tried it. You know what, man? You did a post a couple of weeks ago. And you was talking about should you dye your gray. And what was the feedback? Did you do it or not do it?
No, I didn't do it. Okay, no. So the feedback was to keep the salt and pepper. That was salt and pepper. That was the consensus from everybody that chimed in, and thank everybody for letting me know. So yeah, the consensus was keep the salt and pepper.
Keep the salt and pepper. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're gonna keep the salt and pepper, man. I think we're gonna keep the salt and pepper. Well, man, we got a good show today.
Yeah, man.
You've been hyped about this one.
Absolutely, man. We were able to get her on. She was so gracious enough to spend some time with us, man. So, but before we get into that, let's go ahead and pay these bills because I know she has other things to do. She's got business to do afterwards, so I don't want to belabor it. Let's go ahead and pay our partnerships.
Let's get
them going.
Hi, I'm Linda Garcia with Mortgages by Linda. We have over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and we work with 15 different wholesale lenders to get you the lowest interest rates. We provide excellent customer service and look forward to helping you with your mortgage.
That is Miss Linda Garcia with Team MBL, Mortgages by Linda. So you can reach her at 1-877-TEAM, TEAMMBL. Also reach her at teammbl.com. So, hey, that's one of our partnerships. Also, we got to show some love to my man right here. My man Chris has a book out right now. It's time to shift on Amazon. So check it out. You need your platforms right now.
Man,
absolutely, man.
I love it.
I meant to ask, man, are you gonna do an audio book for that?
I am gonna put it in audio form, and I'm gonna do a book signing and the whole nine. So we're gonna do it. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Yeah,
all right. Cool, man. Let's hop into the show, man, because I know she got stuff to do and people to see and money to get. So I don't want to hold her up, man.
Let's do it.
Our guest tonight, I've known her for a little bit of time. She lives in St. Johns County. She's become an active member in the community. Her and her family moved from South Florida, which they previously were in Boston. They relocated multiple times over the 20 years experience in the real estate. And she has over 20 years of experience in the real estate industry. It has become second nature to her. She understands that most of her clients are not seasoned movers, often facing their first relocation. So she's offered her guidance based on wealth of experience to ensure a smooth transaction. Hey, so when it comes to recommending lenders and title companies, she works with some of the most reputable names in the business, and she has entrusted them with numerous contracts to facilitate smooth closings. She probably operates her real estate business, the Casella Sales Real Estate. I think it's powered by Compass, I think. Big thing, upon moving to the area, she took up opportunity to refresh her logo, put together some nice imagery for her marketing, allowing her to access these beautiful cities, the cities that St. Augustine offers. She's also a representation of bridge connecting sellers with buyers to achieve their goals, whether you're looking to sell your home or find your next one. Please don't hesitate to reach out, as she is committed to delivering the best services and results. Hey, so let's welcome to the show Miss Jodi Casella.
There she is.
Come on up,
Bam.
Jodi.
Bam.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Act like you don't see our hands clapping. That's the.
I see you. Thank you.
Don't see the hands clapping. That's our clapper in the background.
Thank you. I'm happy to join.
Yes. I got one question before we jump into it. New Kids on the Block or New Edition?
New Kids on the Block all day long.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's where I spent my 40th birthday. It was
Is
amazing.
that right?
With one of my best friends, Allie Reinhardt. She's a
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah,
also
you
my
got the
social
right
media
stuff.
manager.
Yeah, you got the right stuff. That's it.
Right.
Maurice don't know about that.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. That went right on my head. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah,
You know,
boys,
it's an era. It's an era. You got to be a
era,
part
you know
of
what I'm
it.
saying? Yes, I knew she's on point. She's on point. She's on point. Well, welcome to the show, Miss Jodi.
Thanks for having me.
Let's do it. I know you got a busy schedule. I know you and Maurice talks, he talks nothing but high favors for you. He gives you high praise. And so when he told me that you was going to be on the show, he was like, dude, we got to have her on the show. I was like, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So here you are. We thank you for, joining us on another episode of Real Talk and Real Estate.
It's my pleasure. I'm all about real talk.
Let's do it. Well, tell us, Maurice, you got a question real quick? Or
I
you want to
jump into how you end up moving all around? Like, I mean, from Boston to South Florida to Jacksonville. How did that? What was the purpose of that?
Yeah.
I'm really good at negotiating. So I met my husband in Kansas and we moved to Massachusetts. There's a really long story in between all that. Mm-hmm. But Massachusetts was where I really got deep into property management. And around 2008, when my son was 2.5, I was sick and tired of winters, being from Minnesota originally and having kids a year apart in December, pregnant 1 year apart. You can imagine those are long, hard winters.
Wow.
So I finally said, after traveling to Fort Lauderdale a lot with my snowbird in-laws and then my brother being down there, I was like, this seems to be the real quality of life with the climate, the money people have to spend. Not that I was thinking of it that much, but always being in some sort of real estate with property management, every time we'd go down there, I was like, man, I feel the draw. So we ended up there in 2010 in Lauderdale by the Sea. After the big Italian meetup at our table, a round table meeting, so to speak. So, and here we are.
Yeah. Well, if we can go back a little bit further, catch us up. Who is Jodi? Who is Jodi?
So I am a high achiever, very high expectations, love to please people, and really, truly, always feel like I want the best for people and what their lives are about. So I think when I was in a really great opportunity that I had at college, I worked in a bar called Johnny's Tavern, which is a very eclectic part of the community when it comes to KU fans. Okay. And the owners of the bar started to see something in me that they were like, the wife was in real estate. She pulled me out, got me into real estate, property management. She was a high level profile realtor in Arizona and came back to Kansas. And she was like, I see so much in you. So then fast forward to being in property management and getting into Florida. My father-in-law saw me working really hard for people, and he's an entrepreneur by spirit. They ran liquor stores. So that's really the background of where my husband's business was. And my father-in-law kept seeing like me working in real estate, but property management, you all know, like that's working for other people. Yes. So when we did move to South Florida, he said, I think you should really get into it. So I wanted to really, truly be a mother. That was always my goal. I wanted 4 kids, but having 2 kids a year apart and being at the age I was like, oh, maybe I don't have time to do the 4 kids. But I always wanted the balance. So when my kids went into kindergarten, that's when it really became relevant that I needed a more flexible schedule. So that mom spirit in me was like, I really want to be a part of my kids' lives. And, real estate always says part-time. But I think when I sat down with my husband for coffee and he was like, you want to be the mom. We left Massachusetts when he got out of his liquor business, running liquor stores. And I got into managing more properties, but the kids were in like pre-K and kindergarten. He was like, now is the time for you to pursue having both. So I think I was always wanting to be a businesswoman, but also a mom. So I guess that's what Jodi is, like having some sort of balance and trying to find how you can be a mom, but also run a business. So, and with the support of family and people, I was able to do that. So that's Jodi.
So that was in 2010 is when you first started doing property management, 2010?
Well, really 2000, right out of college. Like I graduated and went into managing real estate, like property management, and continued that. I really wanted to be a news broadcaster and got into that in my first few years of college, and didn't suit me because I was like all over the place on camera.
Right.
And I've been watching the morning show on Apple lately, Apple TV, and I was like, oh wow, I'm so glad I didn't do it. Just if you ever get a chance to watch it, it's a lot of drama, and I don't do well with drama.
Okay.
Yeah, not my thing. So I was in property management, and then in 2010, when we relocated from Massachusetts to Fort Lauderdale, one of the owners of the bar that my husband and I were really close, he was a bar owner, he bought a resort, oceanfront resort. And my mother-in-law, like on the sidelines, he had said, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. She said, my daughter-in-law manages property. Maybe she can help. And so that really was when I fully engaged in like really getting to know how to renovate a property in real estate, and then felt like the need to leave working in the real, like property management, like big corporate avenues. So I quit that job and went and worked at the Beachside Village Resort in Lauderdale by the Sea in 2011. So yeah, so it really started right out of school, like 2000 into 2010, when I was like, I'm done with the corporate world, and got my real estate license.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So
now, you had a question, Chris?
I do. So probably the same question you had. So from 2011 to 2024, now 2023, are you transitioning from the property management side to the residential side? Is that what I'm understanding?
Well, I pretty much left property management in 2013. So once I picked up on the renovation of the Beachside Village Resort, I phased out of the corporate. I actually walked into my boss's office August of 2013 and handed him my notice. And we were all a really good team. We were recognized as the #1 property management team in the nation for Archstone, which ended up selling to Avalon Bay, who I worked for in Massachusetts. Like, come roundabout all the way, I got bought out by the people who hired me in Massachusetts in 2000, and then bought my property in Boca Raton in 2012. A year later, I gave them my notice. I was like, I have to leave and pursue my real estate career. And really, it was between my father-in-law and my husband that said, go for it. And the reason it really was inspired to do it at that point, my own father had passed away. And I think you need like that push to say, like, go do it. And you're scared to leave the paycheck and leave the real job, as everyone calls it. And so I did. I left the real job. I walked into his office and gave him my notice, and he was like, Casella, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. I just have to leave and go manage this resort on the water and do real estate and build a business and hope for the best. Oh, wow. And if I have to come back, I will. And I never looked back.
Okay, that's good.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Maurice.
So you've had some time doing both. Which you prefer, property management or doing general real estate?
General real estate all the way. I even dabbled a little bit in commercial when I was in South Florida. I kind of thought that was cool, and I was being mentored by an agent at Balustrade Real Estate when I was down in South Florida, and I was like, no, I like the emotions. I like connecting people's needs and their wants to what they're looking to do. And commercial is so commercial. It's just, so I think what I loved about being in property management was people would come to our office and look for transitional homes. They wanted to lease, to buy. And I'm a big proponent of leasing an apartment or leasing a house to the point of investing in your own real estate. And once I got in general, I realized like, it's really important to advise people what rental does for you opposed to purchasing your own home.
Gotcha.
So I definitely prefer real estate over property management.
Got you. So kind of walk us through that. Once you did make the transition to general, kind of walk us through that first year. How was it for you? How
I was like a fish out of water. I didn't know what to do because I came from being at a corporate office where I would walk in every day and know, here's what's expected me. Here's your goals, how many leases we need, how to meet our numbers. I managed the budget. I was the assistant manager and then became the manager. So I think you go from knowing everything you're supposed to do every day to like owning your own schedule.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, it took me quite a bit of time to learn structure and consistency and knowing this is your business and how to be accountable for it and know that the only person that's telling you every day to get out of bed and go to work is you.
Yeah. So now one more question, Chris. So you mentioned something I really want to touch on really quick. So since you are a realtor, we all are realtors, you own your own business. What was it that made that shift in your mind to say, okay, well, hey, I'm not being told what to do in a corporate setting anymore. I'm really charting my own trail. Was it something that happened or you just woke up one day and said, oh, I got to do this? How was that? What was that transition like?
I think it took a little while, a few different brokerages, a few different people like mentors. I think the one thing I'll always remember is when I was at one of my business planning meetings. And at that time, the broker who ran the office said, Jodi, this is your business. You have to quit your job, write yourself a check and look at it and earn that money. Because when you do quit that job, you're not going to get a paycheck until you earn your first paycheck. And my first paycheck, I still have a picture. It wasn't very much money, but it was like a means to start realizing like, wow, I'm responsible for this. And then, along the way, people taught me how to do an LLC. And then I started to leverage my business to the point of like having the TC. It took a while though, because you kind of, you don't realize like, wow, I'm really doing this.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Was there, Jodi, I have a question. You talked about mentors. We talk a lot about mentorship on the program. And there's a lot of different philosophies and opinions about whether you should have a mentor or not. What's your opinion? Do you have a mentor, a coach? Do you need it? Walk us through that.
Yes, 100%. Mentors they become mentors because you choose your actual title as a mentor. But I think the influence I had of all the people I was surrounding myself with, the first and foremost person was my realtor who I worked with, who is now one of my best friends, Amara Barocco with Bella Costa Realty. She's in South Florida. She's the reason, like a big part of like, yes, believe your father-in-law is right. You are going to do this and you will do well at it. And then from there, it was coming to St. Augustine. I had several people mentor me, at Eric Pledger at Exit, and then Rob Tappan at Florida Homes, like truly free mentorship, but accountability calls, meeting once a week, teaching me like the 11 activities to grow your business, which open houses were a key part of my business. And then when I did join Momentum, I was at the startup of Momentum. I wanted to be a mentor, so I mentored 5 agents to graduate through a program. So I did that. And now being at Compass, I have several people that I really look up to. So I think the biggest part is always recognizing that the people you surround yourself with are who you become. So you're constantly being surrounded by people you want to like be like, right? And I even went as far as last year, we had coaching. We paid a coach. I mean, a good amount of money. And I think that's a huge part. You know, you pay how much to go to college and you pay for education, you go to marriage counseling, you go to, you know, all these different therapists, so to speak, and coaches do matter. So we did a 6-week program with Chris Patterson. And then I'm now in the Compass coaching program, which is a 12-week program called 0 to 60. And people are like, do you really need it? And I'm like, I do. You can't, even though I've done well, I still need to grow.
Yeah.
So I finally realized, like, probably in year 2 to hire someone and pay them. Like, paying someone means you're going to college, you show up.
Right.
If you're just, I always show up. I mean, my mentorships that I did, I had people call me and say, I can't meet today. I can't meet today. I'm like, oh, I was looking forward to it. Because it's also for me, right? So accountability.
So let me ask that one question. You touched on something really quick, and if you could expound upon that. You talked about you paid a lot of money for your coaching, right? So there's a price tag associated with the coaching. Yes. Do you think there's a different type of training when it comes to something that you're paying for as opposed to what you're getting for free?
100%. Yeah. Yeah, because you want to show up, and then there are like for us, our coaching was every day, twice a day. You'd watch a video, you'd wake up. It's a Bob Proctor program. I highly recommend it. It truly changes you. And I mean, I had done other things prior to that like Brian Buffini, I did that, changed my business, because you're all about like connections and really relationships in real estate. So, but you know, this business is highs and lows. So you constantly have to grow and you constantly have to change. And although I find a common denominator in everything I do, it still is a reminder of like, okay, you're good. You've got this, like mindset, you know? And so I remember when I did this last coaching round, my husband came to me, and I have done several, but he came into the business and he was like, I really want to do this together. And I got on the call with our coach and I was like, I just don't, I feel like it's redundant. And he was like, I promise you it isn't. And within week 2, I was like, oh my gosh, so necessary.
Gotcha.
Now, does your husband do the business with you?
Well, so he's in mortgage. So he quit his job after, say, 30 years in the liquor business and got his mortgage license because he continued to see like the growth and what I could do as realtor. But he also was phasing out of he just wasn't in love with it. You know, you lose passion for something, you want to try something different. And so I will say he did want to partner up on that. And so, yeah, working together was hard at first.
I bet.
Yeah.
We should have a show like that, Maurice. We should have a show like that. Couples in business together.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So what was the when he first came to the business, because we've had other couples on the show, what was the biggest challenge for you guys working together? Was there 2 alphas going at it, or what was it like?
Yeah, we're both 2 alphas going at it anyway in marriage. So I think we're both really high strung and want to succeed. We both have different ways about ourselves, but for it was really him growing into the right space on how to be a mortgage broker. And I think along the way he learned a lot, and so did I, about what it means to be on that side of the deal, because I've had partners, and I've always had partners through this, like trusted circle of trust. Like my partners were Michelle Karn, Andrew Cady, Tim McConnell. And then with insurance, I worked with, you know, certain insurance and title companies. I'm with Hunter at Attorney Title Services. And I think it really comes down to just encompassing how to communicate, how to trust, what your expectations are, because I'm super communicative and I'm like, I need to know when's the clear to close. And some of the companies that he had tried before he landed where he is now didn't have some consistency that I do. So I think it just was growing pains, which we all go through, but also understanding how you work together.
Got you. So now you've been in the business for some time now, and you said you've mentored others. What is the one thing, or what is a couple things you're telling them about, first off, getting into the business and where their mindset needs to be?
I mean, first and foremost is just relationships, and then knowing that everybody is coming into the business brand new. I mean, so when you first start, it's kind of a little daunting to say you go into a listing appointment and how many deals have you done and all these things. Just believe in yourself. That's always been my one common denominator with people that have reached out to me. You know, we're all in the social world, so I'll get like private messages like, hey, I love what you do, and how did you do it? And I did a lot. I sacrificed weekends with my kids. I loved open houses. So my thing to new agents is like, be prepared to work and show up and do the things and not be intimidated by other agents that are ahead of the game. My this fourth quarter slow. I think it's easy to like start to worry. I mean, this market we're in, we're all in this together, right? Everyone's feeling the same pain points. So it's like whether you started in 2018, 2020, 2021. I mean, the pandemic, I kept hearing, oh, all these agents are going to fall off. They're all going to fall off. They're going to fall off anyway if they don't have the commitment, right? Whether it's 2020 or 2025, you got to believe in yourself and show up every day, and time blocking, consistency, making sure you have the schedule too.
Gotcha.
One of the things you talked about, Jodi, was talking about the ups and the downs of the industry, you know, which is huge. And you talked about how some of these agents are going to fall off anyways if they don't stick to the plan and do the work. During those ups and downs in your career, how were you able to hold a strong mindset to keep you going? And can you tell us about a time where you thought about quitting?
Yesterday. No. I make sure to attend events. Like, Maurice, thank you for inviting me to events. And truly it's like every quarter we have opportunities to go be a part of things, whether you pay for it or you attend just a local cool event like Maurice does, or we all have so many things going on that we share. And what I love about this part of Florida is we all do share. When I left South Florida, I said to my husband, I don't know if I can do this anymore because it's a different environment. But I do feel even down there, it's changed a bit because the collaboration that we've all been a part of, whether we're in another brokerage or we're a part of a mortgage brokerage or a title company, it's attending those events like RE Bar, which I've always called it Rebar. Apparently it's RE Bar, but that's always been a stepping off point for me. It brings a lot of the agents and other businesses together in our area that share in these breakout rooms where you can really get deep into each other and learn, what are you doing? How are you doing it? What's worked for you? What hasn't? And, you know, I posted our real talk tonight in my story and said, sharing is caring, because it really, truly is. And I think it's just staying relevant. Like, I've even had, from where I was at my last brokerage, like, we all still talk, and there's events that they'll go to out of state that they, you know, want to collaborate with. Even though we're at different brokerages, doesn't mean we're not all practicing in the same business. And ethically, we all have relationships, right? Like, you know, it's important to stay on top of what the market's doing. So attending events and just being a part of each other.
That's good. That's good. So was there a time that you ever thought, hey, like when you first got into the business, was there a time where you thought maybe this is not the career for you?
I think that's normal to feel like any job. Yes, I actually have recently been telling people I want to be a flight attendant.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
my dad's second wife was, and I just love it. And I was like, the perks to travel. So I recently flew on Silver Airlines, and I was like, damn, it's so fun. Like they're all being fun, Southwest Airlines. But, then I realized like that wouldn't really fulfill my passions, because those customers come and go. They walk on the plane, they walk off the plane. I'm never going to see them again. And then I realized like, oh my gosh, that's not what I meant to do. Like I've had repeat customers. I've had them sell, I've had them buy, I've had them sell again. I mean, the cycle of real estate is 5 to 6 years. And then you've got your ugly divorce. And then you've got the beautiful thing of diapers, where diapers bring in, they need more room, or job changes. Death, unfortunately, is always something which I've dealt with on one of my sales this past year. I learned about the ladybird. That's a great thing to learn about.
Okay, so hold up. We don't just rush by that one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want to stay in the business. I can't quit because of learning about things like that. Like there's just so many days that are different in real estate that I was like, I can't go to an airplane and be a flight attendant every day and have people just cycle through my airplane, where I'm like, how would I learn about who they really are as people? So yeah, the ladybird, one of my customers lost her dad. I was listing her house so he could move in with her family. And unfortunately he passed during that time while the build was happening. And she taught me about the ladybird, which is really protecting yourself in the event of someone passing. And I mean, that's a whole nother podcast, but there's just so many layers of what we do. So yeah, I've wanted to quit, but I'm not gonna.
I love it. I love it.
Gotcha. So now looking back on your time from property management to now you're loving general real estate, do you ever regret or think back to what you could have done differently throughout your general real estate time in real estate?
Yes.
What is that?
I do believe letting go of control and learning to share. Like I recently was thinking of starting the team. The person that I partnered with went to a different brokerage. We parted ways, but it really opened me up to allowing other people in and leveraging your business. So I have a TC now. I have a social media manager, because the one thing that I learned recently when I was in Miami, I was at the Compass Connects event, and the owner of Compass was super vulnerable. He's Israeli and shared, a time of peace during that entry to our meeting, and just was a real person. And he said, you guys, the most important thing in this business is connecting, right? Being in front of people and being a part of something, not just real estate, but how we help people. And he said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I almost started crying. I was like, okay, that is so relevant, because how are you going to go very far if you're alone? You're going to be alone. Like you're not sharing in anything we do.
That's good.
That being said, does it mean you have to be a part of a team? No, but it's being like a part of this. Like we're doing this together, we're sharing together. So it made me realize, like, if I would just be more willing to leverage some of my business with maybe some partnerships. So I've done that with my mentees when I was at my last brokerage at Momentum, but I miss that connectivity. So I think, some of the mistakes, also not becoming an LLC right away and running my business like a business.
Gotcha.
When you talk about your mentees and you're having conversations with them, what do you think the one thing is that's actually stopping most agents? We have a huge failure rate in the industry. You're looking at over 80-something% failure rate in the industry.
I know.
What do you think the number one thing is that's stopping most agents from achieving the success that they're looking for?
I would say freedom to do what you want when you feel like it, and not running your business like a business and showing up every day.
That's the thing that's stopping them. The fact that they have that freedom is the thing that's stopping them.
Yeah. And the schedule, and then really just picking up the phone and talking to people. It's super easy to shoot a text out. It's super easy to do a Zoom, but it's more important to just like schedule. Like I always say, hey, I'd love to meet you in person. If not, I'll do a Zoom. I don't want a phone call. If I'm doing a buyer's consult, it's either this way or at a coffee shop if they're local, or at their house, So I think, the failure rate is mostly because people come into this business thinking it's easier than it really is.
If you had to start all over today, what's one thing that you would do differently?
I would have started when I was 25 as opposed to 32.
So you got into it earlier.
I would have done it for my family, and I would have loved to learn from someone how to start an LLC and be a business owner and run it for myself. Although my father-in-law really taught us a lot of the basics and really, like, honestly sat us down at a meeting with his accountant and taught us what a K-1 means and what all these things mean. I was like, oh my gosh, if I had paid attention sooner, if I had really realized the success you can owning your own business. And really, like, there's so many layers to real estate. Like I said earlier, commercial wasn't my gig. Some people like to flip. I like general because it connects me to people, and people, cliche, I'm a people person, but really what I like about it is how do I get them from where they are now to what they want? And I mean, one of my favorite things was when I sold my house, I live in a neighborhood, and when we bought in 2016, we thought this was the house forever. Well, we outgrew it so quickly. And then the neighbor across the street asked me to list their house. And I said, oh my gosh, I want to buy it. Well, I was working with a veteran family who was in the Navy, and I didn't really think maybe they want my house, but they ended up wanting my house. They owned it for 3 years, and we sold it last summer, and they made over $285,000 in 3 years. Now, mind you, that's during a pandemic, but what was cool about that was I got to buy the house across the street, help them build while I lived in my house. They moved on. They had 6 kids. I moved into their house. This family bought my house. They moved in. They sold it. The new family that lives there, I fell in love with. Their mom was their realtor. So we worked really well together. And now I'm friends with them. Like, that's real estate.
Oh, man. That's the relationships. That's powerful. That's good.
That is powerful. That is powerful. So now, Jodi, you've mentioned that you starting to grow your business. You have a social media manager. You have a TC. So where do you see your business being in the next 5, maybe 10 years from now?
Well, I've committed to staying at my brokerage for 5 years. I love what we have. Our tools are all on one platform. I would like to start a team. I'm looking at a couple options. I'm actually meeting with someone Wednesday.
Okay.
I think it's time to grow and be sharing. And then for me, I mean, I've dabbled in, like, I want to get my broker's license. My kids are graduating. My daughter graduates this year. My son graduates next year. So I see that being an opportunity. But I've talked to a lot of, like, small, especially my friend down south. She's a broker. And then some other area specialists up here that are brokers. And I'm like, I don't know that I want to own my own brokerage. I think I enjoy working. For Compass, the reason I moved there is because I'm surrounded by a lot of these people that have grown their business. And it's national, where I was always local based with my brokerages. So I'm liking that about Compass. And I don't know, 5 years from now, I see us like entering semi-retirement. And my true hope is one of my kids gets into it.
I love it.
I really, truly believe they've been so far influenced by putting out signs and being at my open houses. And my son literally just left taking a bunch of video of this. They've been, like, so far deep into it with us that I really think it could be something for them too.
Gotcha.
That's good. You
So I'm sorry, really quick, Chris. So how long have you been at your current brokerage right now?
I just joined in April, actually
Okay.
on my husband's birthday, April 11th. So I was with Momentum since 2020.
Okay.
And prior to that, I was with my other brokerage for 3 years and then 3 years. So I'm like, I want to.
3 years.
One of those people.
Mark, 3 years.
Three. But I was with my other company for 5.
Okay.
Before I left and got into real estate. And then the BVR, the Beachside Village Resort, I'm still intertwined with them all the time. But yeah, so I would like to stay where I am now for 5 years and then kind of decide from there. I think we want to be a team, like a family team but the future is.
What was some of the things, and we can talk a little bit more about the brokerage if you want to, Maurice. Some of the
go ahead, Chris.
When you talked about opening up your own brokerage, but then you kind of went against it, why do you think people, from your opinion, because you're operating right now at a very high success rate as a general real estate agent, why do you think people want to transition into owning their own brokerage, number one, and then why did you decide against it?
Well, I think a lot of people see value. For me, the value in real estate isn't just the money we make. It's about the tools and the collaboration and the people behind it and the culture. I think a lot of times people want to cut out levels and do their own thing and like make all their money. And for me, I think it's more about who are you with every day? And like, I love to go to the office. That's a big thing for me, and being around people and learning from them. And then there's times I'm at the office where I'm like, I'm only here to do this. I got to get it done. So I try to be really cautious of the days I go in. Am I going to be available? Am I going to be approachable? Because when you're at the office, you want to be social. And I want to help people. So I thought about doing it as a broker, but then I thought about the overhead cost and what it entails. And so when I go to the office, I think, okay, if I ran my own brokerage and I'm at the office, they're all coming every day, how much it's managing people, right? And you really, I'm a leader by spirit, but you also really want to have to like manage that and manage the people and manage the business. Where for me, I've heard too many stories of what it entails and then liability. And unless an agent comes in really well, a lot of agents will come into your brokerage. They're new, they need training, they want to learn. And of course you want to teach them. So it's how much can you give? And I think I was at the very startup of Momentum and they've done a really good job of it, but they've also, they had a platform that they built from, and Compass being where they are, they're just national. So I think it's how do you compete? What do you offer your agents? And what will retain them? Same as teams, right? How do you keep them? And how do you grow them? And ultimately, as a leader, you want people to graduate and move on and do their thing. So it's kind of like, I think real estate, it's hard to like keep people. If you're really wanting to be a broker, you're wanting them to stay.
That's good. That's good. Because we get that a lot. We hear people talking about they open up their own brokerage, and I have my opinion on. Maurice has his opinion on it. We all have our opinion on it. So that was a great answer. I want to kind of transition a little bit, Maurice, if we can, about some of the reasons why she left Momentum going into the new company, Compass. What was the thing that you saw within that Compass profile, the Compass platform, that really resonated within you to made you switch from Momentum to Compass?
Well, I think I wasn't really even sure I would do that. And then I had a meeting, and the meeting involved me getting online and seeing their platform. So it's like you take all of your stuff and put it on one desktop.
Yep.
Everything's there. Your email, your CRM, your marketing. It's literally like just push buttons and you go. It took me a bit to really get into it because it's a lot. But, I think what's important to each agent is what they see and value. So I do have a different split. So I think that's another thing to consider when you're going out shopping. Like, obviously, as new agents, we get all the emails from people. But then when you're growing, you really need to pick and choose what your business should look like. And like with where you are, Maurice, like I looked into that. Cloud-based is one thing. I'm a person that likes to be around the people. So if it's really truly important that you kind of vet that platform, who, where, what does it involve? And the other thing I loved about joining Compass now that I didn't really realize when I first joined is all the different events we get to attend in different markets. So I'm just in awe of some of the sales volume and the homes that are listed. And one of our main core values is collaborate without ego. And I mean, I went to Miami, which I had to miss this podcast. I went to connect the dots and I walked into a room and not knowing one person at all, driving into Miami and parking and walking in. And by the time I left there, I was so charged up. So I think it really is, it's a personal choice, but it's also, we have to live in the world of to not be afraid to meet new people and walk into listing appointments and meeting a buyer. Yeah. So I think the key thing is just being selective about what's going to suit you. And
gotcha. So do you have time for one more? Because I know you got an appointment to go to.
Yes, I'm at Stillwater and I'm just heading right out. So I talked to David. I was like, can I use the model? So here's their beautiful model.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. I love this.
I was about to say, man, Jodi has a really nice.
I'm about to say, your spot is tight now.
The sun's about to set behind me.
I'm like, that's a great view, man.
Oh man.
I mean, I like my house too, but it doesn't look this cute.
Okay.
Clean.
So now, Jodi, so you've been in the business for a while, and we just talked about new brokerages and coming to brokerages. Why do you feel, in your opinion, that splits seems to be the most important, if probably the number one thing agents look at when they choose a brokerage?
Well, okay, so if you're going to give your money to your broker, it has to be worth it, right?
Right.
So I think we're in a new era where big box brokers, they don't get to charge you the 70-30 split anymore because we can go and
100%.
Learn and train wherever we want for free together. I mean, Maurice, I could come and get really savvy with social media this Thursday.
Yes.
But I'm actually on my coaching call with Compass. So I do a 90-10 split. You have to earn that at Compass, but I'm also in a 12-week program that is rapidly growing my business. So if you're going to do a split, brokerages are really conscious now of like, okay, we don't want to lose our people. And if you're producing and you start to recognize like, I don't really need, I mean, for me, I was like, I had a network that I could call people. I mean, knock on wood, I've been in business 8 years, solely working real estate, and I've never had one issue, not one court case, not one any. So, you have your coverage. Like, it's got to be worth giving them a part of your money. Now, newer agents, it makes a lot of sense. And I think brokers start to recognize like, okay, if we want to keep them, how are we going to do that? And I think it's important to offer training and things, but the main thing I've always learned is it's not the broker, it's you.
Absolutely.
It's the agent. You've got to go be where you feel. But if you're not performing, if like say 60, 90, you go into a job, you get 60, 90, 120 days, you go in for your review. If you still suck, you just suck.
Right.
So is that, and that's the thing I wanted to kind of touch on too, because a lot of people, agents that is just coming to the business, they always want to switch brokerages because they feel that it's the brokerage. But as you've discussed here, I mean, you really have to put the work in. I mean, I could teach you how to go to the water, but if you don't want to drink it, that's kind of on you. So that's so amazing. I know you have another question, Chris. Go ahead.
At your brokerage, I know you guys have a platform where you guys can recruit and train and all that type of stuff. Are you actively recruiting agent right now to be a part of your platform, or are you going to wait till you build your team?
I actually did recruit 2 that came over, and I was incentivized for that. It was not intentional. It just happened that they are really close with me and had something where they want to move as well. So I'm not actively recruiting, but I'm always willing to share. And I've had people, you get your messages, like a lot of things when you first move. Why? What happened? Where? What? Yeah. And so I'm always willing to meet for coffee and talk to people and share my reasons why. And if it suits them, there's a home for everyone. You've got to be comfortable in your home, and that's what matters most. That's why we do real estate.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
The platform that you're involved in, and the platform that Maurice and I are involved in, we get that bad rap about we are a recruiting company. You guys just focus on recruiting. So when someone comes to you and tells you that your platform that you have is a recruiting company, and you're not really selling real estate, what's your response to that?
We attract our vibe. People like you, want to know why you're where you are. They trust you, and they see that you're walking the talk. You're not just talking, you're actually performing. And so, they want to say, well, what are you doing? What can I do that you're doing that would help me? Well, it is. I mean, I've definitely think people explore their opportunities, and then if they continue to move, when they find their home, you find your home. Right. So my biggest thing is connectivity and collaboration. If you don't like sitting in an office all by yourself, I don't do that. I go to an office. Your group doesn't necessarily have the office, but Maurice is. Oh, the model just turned off.
I think he's done with you. I think that was his. I think that was his cue.
The ghosts are here.
That was his cue. That's
David just realized, like, Jodi's still here. That was kind of perfect for Halloween. That's okay. I'm leaving. We're wrapping up.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Oh no, thank you so much. That was so funny.
Yeah, tell him. Yeah.
So one last question before you go, Jodi. So what has been your biggest challenge in the business, whether it be property management or general real estate? What has been the biggest challenge for you?
Okay. That's a good one. I mean, there's how many challenges we have all the time. I suppose my biggest challenge.
Let me rephrase the question. What's the biggest challenge you have right now that you're still struggling to get over?
Okay. I would say my biggest challenge is that my daughter's a senior and I just want to spend every minute with her. But that's the best part of our business. I think I have prepared for it. So I guess also just not being afraid of what the shifts are in our market. Like everything, I've been doing this since 2013. So, thankfully I wasn't in that big crash. But staying in the know and being a part of the knowledge and knowing what your market's doing. If you don't know all that, then it is challenging. So I mean, the challenge is, when do you retire in my position?
That's good.
No, and I always, and being, thoughtful of your schedule, like being able to say no. I think for me, my first few years, I was like, yes, I can do that. And what I learned is, if you want to grow, you have to start to say no to certain referrals. Like, my average sale price now is over 600,000, 547-ish. When I did my business plan this year, I was like, oh gosh, wow. I've really, you look at your business plan every year, and I was like, darn, I really grew my business from an average price point of like in the 3s to the 6s. Now, mind you, our business has changed.
Yes.
And when I look at Compass agents, I'm like, ooh, I've got a lot. So my challenge right now is to grow to their level. And I'm surrounding myself with the people that are challenging me to get there.
It's good.
It's good. I'm sure we all want to get there. but there's also people that don't really care to get there. You're going to serve the people and who you want to serve. So I don't know if that answers the biggest challenge in my business.
That's good. That's good. Well, listen, I know you got to run. I know he's turned off the lights on us. Maurice,
yeah, it was like a warning.
We got to do another, because there's so many more questions, Maurice, that we could go into.
We do.
But just out of respect for time, I don't want to jump into another long question. He turned off the whole power this time. He turned off the light.
I mean, we could talk for hours, right? Real estate, there's just so much to explore, and I always want to help people. I do. I understand it's a big leap too for people who want to jump out of a career and just do it. Don't be afraid. It doesn't matter the market, right? We're in these 8s and we still, I have 3 new deals coming my way. Like, people are still going to buy.
Yes.
And I think, you can grow your business as much as you want or as little, but full-time is the way to go. It's hard to do the one thing, right? You can't do too many things at once. Do the one thing. That's good.
Well, I think she gave the last words. All right,
that was it right there. Yeah, that was the final thoughts right there.
I think that was the final thoughts. Well, Jodi, we thank you so much for coming.
Yes, thank you so much.
Before you go, Maurice, let's pay some bills real quick.
Let's pay some bills really quick. Let me get that done.
Hi, I'm Linda Garcia with Mortgages by Linda. We have over 21 years of experience in the mortgage industry, and we work with 15 different wholesale lenders to get you the lowest interest rates. We provide excellent customer service and look forward to helping you with your mortgage.
Yeah, so that's our preferred partner. Actually, our partner in talking real estate. Yes. So mortgagesbylinda.com and 1-877 Team MBL. Hey, thank you again, Jodi, so much for being on the show. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on the show. Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. It's nice to meet you, Chris.
Nice to meet you as well. And continued success for you. If there's anything that we could do for you from the show's perspective, don't hesitate. Just reach out to us and let us know.
Will do. Absolutely. Thanks, Maurice.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
All right, man. So what do we have? So we have our social media mastermind, which is this Thursday, to talk about the ladies of EXP, Jamisha Jackson and Joanna Torres are doing.
Ladies of EXP. Man, I'm so proud of them. You know how I'll be like doggone girls. But I'm so proud of them girls, man. They rocking, bro.
Absolutely
Jamisha had an open house this week. Crushed it. This amazing thing. Joanna's consistently out there doing her thing, and they did a photo shoot a couple weeks ago. So yeah, we got some hitters over here, man. We got some hitters, some young ladies that's really doing it big in the game.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, and so we got that event coming up this Thursday at E-Town at 11:30. So it's gonna be E-Town 11:30. So to do with ladies, like I said, man, I've been telling people they got over 10,000 followers between the two of them. So I mean, you definitely do not want to miss this opportunity, because they're going to drop some stuff on you on how to get more followers, how to do more reels, in certain ways you could do things. So man, it's amazing.
That's this Thursday, E-Town. At what time?
E-Town. It's going to be 11:30.
11:30.
Lunch will be served. Will be served.
What else we got? We got anything else coming up this week? Oh yeah, we have Felicia Mitchell. She's having an event on Saturday. There's her events on Saturday. If you go to our page, there's an actual link for the Eventbrite on our page, the Real Talk and Real Estate. There's an actual link out there. It's going to be Saturday from 5 to 10, I believe. That's this Saturday. I believe the tickets are like $50, $50, $60. Very, very inexpensive. She's going to have a live band that's going to be rocking the house. This band is dope. They're doing some amazing things here in Jacksonville. She's going to have food and drinks and music. And it's called Wealth and Wellness, I believe.
Yes, Wealth and Wellness.
Yeah. So she's going to be talking some good stuff, talking about wealth building, talking about wellness and all that good stuff. So definitely you want to go attend that event this Saturday. So go check out our page, Real Talk and Real Estate. There's an actual link out there, so you can go ahead and be involved in that.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man, I think that's all we got, man. Anything else?
Man, we got some good stuff going on, man. So We got some great stuff that's planned. So just stay tuned to Real Talk and Real Estate. We're doing some amazing things. Our whole focus here is to bring you the real in this industry. We just want to bring you nothing but content to help you grow your business, to help you become hugely successful in this particular industry. Absolutely. That's our main objective.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, man, amazing show, great show. Sir. Thank you to our guest, Jodi Casella, again for coming on and sharing her story and telling us how she became so successful in the business, man.
Yes. Jackie Boyd, we appreciate you for joining us. Dawn Marie Hughes, we appreciate you for rocking with us as well.
Absolutely.
So, come back every Tuesday night from 6 to 7 right here, Real Talk and Real Estate with your host. I don't even like to say I'm your host. We the host. I'm one of them. That's my man, Maurice. I'm Chris Allen. Till next time, don't talk about it, be about it. We out. Peace.